like, I don't know what word I'm trying to say right there, but you know what I mean. Dramatic account, what does that mean? Hi everyone, I'm Bria and welcome back to my channel, Tales of Tales, or Tots as I like to call it sometimes. Like I say in every video, I'm gonna try to make it a thing until it's a thing. Today's video, we are gonna be doing a book haul, a birthday book haul to be specific. It is currently March and my birthday was in February. But a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks. I was in the middle of a snowpocalypse here in Texas, lost power for like 3 days, was very cold. But like, what makes you feel better than to get some, new books? So today I'm gonna be sharing with you the books that I bought for myself and books that I've gotten as gifts and books that publishers and books that publishers sent me. And I know some of you guys are thinking, Brie, you have 200 subscribers. Like, why are publishers sending you books? That's because I have a bookstagram that seems to be a little popping right now. So if you don't follow me on Bookstagram, you definitely should go follow me over there. Also, forewarning, when I'm sharing these books, there's a good chance that all I did was like read the back or read the like inside cover when I was buying these. Some of them came off like a recommendation from other people and I don't actually have an idea of what they are about. Some are just from authors that I've liked before, so I decided to pick up their books again. You'll see, there's a lot of things going on. I just don't want your expectations to be too high of how I'm going to explain these books, but I will promise to do my best. So to start it off, because it's a birthday book haul, let's start off with the books that people gifted me. So the first book was actually a part of a Galentine's book exchange that I did over on Bookstagram with a few of my friends over there. And so she got me Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. So I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown last year and I absolutely adored it. And I really wanted to read the next book, which is Take a Hint, Dani Brown. So I'm so happy that my friend over on Bookstagram got that for me. And if you're not familiar with the Brown Sister series, it's a romance series and it follows 3 sisters who kind of have their own things going on. But we're just following their journey in love, and we love representation. So I'm very excited for Take a Hint, Dani Brown. And so in that vein, I was also gifted Act Your Age, Eve Brown, which is the 3rd installment of the Brown Sister series. Again, it's a romance. I've heard that this one is even steamier than Dani Brown, and Dani Brown is apparently even steamier than Chloe Brown. So it's like we're upping the steam with every book and I'm into it. Everybody needs a little romance in their life. Next up, I got a book from my wonderful cousin, Brianna, and as a birthday gift, and she sent me Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So, not gonna lie, originally I was not that interested in reading this book. And I'll say that mostly because just of what I've heard about the book, and 2, I've only read 1 Leigh Bardugo book, which was Six of Crows. And I remember enjoying it, but it wasn't anything like spectacular in my opinion. For those of you who are new, maybe just to this book in general, Ninth House is about a young woman named Alex who goes to Yale, and then she gets like recruited into this like secret society. I'm reading something about they're raising the dead, so that actually sounds really interesting. I could be pleasantly surprised by Ninth House. So I didn't get that many books as gifts because in my old age, yes, to me I feel old. I'm 28 and I know it isn't old, but the gifts that I ask for are usually just like a little different now. It's usually just like money or like a gift card to a massage or something, because my back isn't the back of like a 22-year-old anymore, So now I'm gonna move into the books that I bought myself, and there's a bunch. and I'm not sure who I think I am buying all these books, then I know I'm probably not even going to get to half of them this year. But book buying and book reading are two separate hobbies. So kind of piggybacking off of Ninth House and Leigh Bardugo, I decided to buy the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. So I'm sure a lot of you guys know that Netflix recently picked up the Shadow and Bone series, which I think is going to be combining like these books and Six of Crows and King of Scars. My expectations really aren't that high for this. I just like want to be part of the conversation when the show comes out. I'm probably going to do like a weekend reading vlog for these because I just want to read them and like just be done with it. So make sure you are subscribed so that you can see when I do a reading vlog for this. So the next book I bought for myself was Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. And so I actually picked this up because I was so graciously asked by Chanel over at Chanel Time to be a co-host for the Crusty Book Club. And I was honored as someone who, you know, is up and coming in the booktube world. I like to say up and coming because we're going to put it out into the universe. But she wanted to kind of collide the worlds of Bookstagram and Booktube. So I was a co-host with Joel over on Fictional Fates. They both are amazing booktubers, and if you found me and haven't found them, I'm not sure how the algorithm is working for you, but you should definitely go check that out. And we actually just finished the live show for this. Maybe you don't want to read this book, but you want to watch the live show. Highly recommend it. We really get into it over on the live show. So if you want to watch that, go check out Chanel's channel at Chanel Time, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Talk about sci-fi and fantasy next. So the first book I got was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, and I actually got this book for a secret TBR that I'm working on, and when I tell you that it's an interesting one, it's an interesting one, but this is actually a book that I've been wanting to read for a while. I think it's kind of like a staple in sci-fi and fantasy. It seems like a very eccentric book, which I'm not mad about. It is not that long. It seems like something I can get through pretty fast, so just keep your eye out for when this book makes another appearance in one of my videos. Okay, the next book is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, and I've heard so many good things about The Poppy War, and based on what I know about it, it has a lot of characteristics of a book that I tend to enjoy. There's schooling involved, and I love a good schooling. I love a good, you know, fight scene, which I've also heard makes its way into this book. I know The Poppy War is pretty popular, but I don't like to assume that everybody who comes to this channel has heard about every single popular book. So I'm going to try to give you the best synopsis that I can. Third, Poppy War is just a spark away. Rin's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people. I've heard phenomenal things, and a lot of phenomenal things from people who have similar reading tastes as me. So I'm excited about The Poppy War. Up next, this came off of a recommendation from one of my good friends over on Bookstagram, and it's called The Wings of Ebony by J.L. It's about a young woman whose mom is murdered, and then she's snatched away from her father. She's snatched away by her father, who abandoned her at birth, and he's gonna take her to his home, which is actually a secret country of gods who wield a powerful magic. And if that doesn't sound just like, I don't know what word I'm trying to say right there, but you know what I mean. Sometimes I just really wonder why I'm horrible at explaining books, but this sounds great. So we're gonna sum this up. We have an orphan child whose mother dies. Her dad is part of a country where all the people have magical powers, and essentially is almost like gods. Rue is half god, half human, and there's like an evil plaguing the land that she lives in, and she essentially has to save her people with like these magical powers that she has. There we go. Boom. The next book that I bought is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, and the amount of 5-star freaking reviews that I've heard about this book is astronomical. To be honest, like even when I bought it, like I didn't really know like the premise of the book. And so I was just reading the cover, and the beginning kind of sounded like Wings of Ebony, where there's a character and her mother dies, but then she like witnesses like a magical like evil force on her college campus, or high school actually, and it's a flying demon feeding on human energies. We're already getting me revved up to enjoy this. The next sentence says, a secret society of so-called legend-born students who hunt the creatures down. I didn't know that a secret society was involved in this, and I think I'm already gonna love this book. So another thing that I really love in books is when people just forget stuff. Some type of memory loss, or they have to like unearth something that's happened to them in the past, and they have to like try to remember what's going on, and it's like memory is like a plot point in the story. And so this says, the mage's failure reveals Bree's own unique magic and a buried memory with a hidden connection about the night her mother died. So we got black people doing magic, we got a secret society, and we got something to deal with memory. Let's get it. Okay, so this next book I'm assuming is more on the sci-fi side, mostly because of who the author is. And again, if you haven't watched my favorite books of 2020, you should go check that out, because I mentioned The One by John Mars. So I had to pick up The Minders. I've read The One by John Mars, and I've read The Passengers by John Mars, and both of them I really enjoyed. And so I'm almost certain that John Mars might be like an auto-buy author for me at this point. I want to go and read some of his backlist, but I just had to pick up The Minders because I loved the last two books I read by him so much. Okay, so this is actually pitched as a thriller, which I'm also not mad at, because I love a good thriller. It says, in the 21st century, information is king, and computers can be hacked into, files can be broken into. So there's a government initiative where 5 ordinary people have been selected to become minders, and through a medical procedure, they are the latest weapon in combating cyber terrorism. All the countries, like conspiracy theories, the truth behind government lies, are all held within these 5 people's minds. Okay, and in the same vein of thrillers and picking up books where I didn't really know what they were about, but I liked the author, is The Burning Girls by C.J. Tudor. So I've read The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor, and I really enjoyed that. I feel like the writing of The Chalk Man was pretty fast paced. It was just like kind of easy to get through, and then I didn't see the twist coming at the very end. It was kind of like a double twist, which I enjoyed. So when I went to Barnes & Noble and I was shopping, I initially didn't have any plan of what I was really gonna get, and this was actually part of like the new releases for thrillers, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that C.J. Tudor had a new book coming out. So The Burning Girls follows a reverend who moves to this small town with his daughter, and it's weird because the first thing that he gets when he gets there is like an exorcism kit, and the reverend's like, what's actually going on? And part of the reason that he moves there was because there was 2 girls end up like mysteriously dying, and right after that the old reverend like hung himself, I think. So it's like exploring all of like the dark past of the town, some freaky, it sounds like some paranormal vibes that are happening, and it's just like following the reverend and his young daughter uncovering what some of those truths are in this dark little town. So I'm curious to know where like the twists and the turns are gonna come out with this. The next genre of books I got, which I didn't really get a lot of, is contemporary. I'm realizing that I don't read a lot of contemporary, but I'm needing to, because I'm starting to read a lot of books that have like some darker themes, and sometimes, you know, you just need like a palate cleanser. So the next book I got was When Dimple Met Rishi by Sanja Menon. So When Dimple Met Rishi follows 2 Indian teenagers who apparently their parents have already decided like that they're gonna get married, like an arranged marriage situation. It sounds like, you know, even though it might be an arranged marriage situation, that there's actually some like real love happening. The next book I think would be considered literary fiction. Now sometimes there's books and you read synopsis and you're not sure like the actual genre it might fit into until you like read the book, and obviously this is a book haul, so I haven't read most of these books, but I've seen, I think, 2 people read this book, and the first person I think I saw mention it was Meg over on Meg with Books, and that is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So this follows a woman who, her life is full of misery and regret, and then she stumbles upon the Midnight Library, which kind of allows her to relive things that she's already done. So it says the books in the Midnight Library enable Nora to live as if she had done things differently. Each one contains a different life, a possible world in which she made different choices that played out in an infinite number of ways, affecting everyone she knew as well as many people she never met. But things aren't always what she imagined they'd be, and soon her choices placed the library and herself in extreme danger. Seeing like a different parallel type of universe of still being you, but you, if you had made different decisions, is just something that's so interesting to me, which is why I decided to pick it up from Half Price Books. And it doesn't seem very long. It's less than 300 pages, and so we like a good quick read, so not upset at that. If you watch any of my other 2 videos that are up on my channel, you kind of get the sense that I do enjoy true crime. And this was my hardest decision when I was like in the store shopping. There were so many true crime books that I actually wanted to pick up, but I narrowed it down to just 3. And so the first one is The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule. So this is one of those really popular true crime books because it talks about Ted Bundy. So Anne covers like her personal experiences with Ted, like being a co-worker, just like not knowing that he's going to be one of the most notorious serial killers to ever walk the face of the earth. And it also recounts like parts of his childhood, and I guess just like intertwines like her real life experiences with crimes that Ted was committing. I know it's just like a very popular true crime book. When I picked it up and when I was thinking about it, I didn't know just how like thick it actually is. I'm excited about reading a little bit more about Ted Bundy, which again, anytime I talk about being excited about reading about serial killers, I like cringe a little bit, but it is what it is. The next true crime book I got was American Predator: The Hunt for the Most Meticulous Serial Killer of the 21st Century. So in the synopsis, it talks about how like a lot of serial killers are like very well known, like they have a lot of notoriety, like Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, like all of those serial killers, like people like really know their names. But this book actually follows Israel Keys, who is kind of like an unprecedented serial killer, because if you know anything about true crime, people who are like serial offenders, they usually have like some type of pattern that they follow. So I guess with this, it was hard to track Israel because he was like burying kill kits all over the country, and so he would like go to these random places to use the kill kits and then go back to his home in Alaska. So it's like it wasn't just happening in one state or area, it was happening all over the country, and so the FBI had to get involved. So again, excited to get into this. Not thrilled that I'm excited to read about serial killers, but again, what can you do? I'm reading them so I can, you know, help you guys determine which ones you should and shouldn't read. So the last true crime book I got is Catch and Kill: Lies, Spies, and a Conspiracy to Protect Predators by Ronan Farrow. So this book goes into, I think he's like a journalist who started to realize that a really famous producer is actually like a serial predator, and as he starts to investigate, he realizes the links that people are going to like protect these people and like just how deep it goes. I think there's been a lot of discussion, at least from what I've seen just like in the media, about famous people just being predators. and how it gets like swiped under the rug because they have all of this power and money, and with that they can, you know, wash away a lot of their transgressions or keep it in secret. Yeah, so we just follow Pharaoh's journey as he tries to unearth some of these truths about these predators. And I just realized that I missed a book that's, I guess, considered contemporary, and that is Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake. So I've heard a lot about this book, all of it really good. So Girl Made of Stars follows a girl whose brother is accused of rape. He's accused of rape by the girl's best friend. So I know that this book covers some topics of, you know, grappling between like, can my brother really do this? But also like, I believe my friend, and her battle of knowing what's right and wrong, but then also her brother potentially being a rapist, which are obviously like heavy topics to talk about. And I think there are some obvious like trigger warnings there. While this is a fictional book, I've heard that it still covers the topic in a good way. So yeah, excited to read that. Hey, and so this last stack of books is books that publishers sent me, and I'm gonna start with books that I've actually already read from them. That way I can just give you guys a better synopsis of like what they're about. So the first one is One of the Good Ones by Micah Millett and Maritza Millett. One of the Good Ones follows Kezi and Kezi's sisters. And so the best way for me to describe this is Kezi is a teen social activist. Kezi becomes a victim of police brutality. So it follows the journey of Kezi's sisters kind of grappling with that. And because Kezi was a teen activist, she had a YouTube channel, and it was all about, you know, social activism, that Kezi gets this like crown of one of the good ones. Her sisters are trying to do their best to honor Kezi's life. This book takes a turn I wasn't expecting. I think this book is considered like a YA contemporary, and I guess people say if you like Angie Thomas, then you might like this, but I don't know if there's like an actual comparison I can make with this book because of, like I said, because of the turn that it takes. You just have to read it to figure it out. And in a segue into Angie Thomas, thank you to Epic Reads for sending me Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas, which was one of my most anticipated reads of 2021. I love Angie Thomas's writing. The Hate You Give, On the Come Up. If you haven't read those books, you are definitely missing out. I gave 5 stars to both of them. They both cover very similar yet different experiences within the Black community, and all of Angie Thomas's books they kind of intertwine because they're all set in the same place, but kind of like in different times and in different perspectives. So Concrete Rose follows Maverick, and Maverick is actually Star's dad. So if you've read The Hate You Give, then you're familiar with Star, but it just follows his journey of being a teen father and how his life changes because of that, and the roads that he could have taken and the roads that he decides to take once he has to become a father. So Angie Thomas does not disappoint in this book. So if you liked her other work, check it out. If you haven't read her other work, still check it out. And can we just talk about a black boy in a do-rag on the cover of a book? The next book that I've read that a publisher has sent me, or a company has sent me, is The Wedding Date by Jasmine Gilroy. So this book was sent to me through Literati, and Literati is a new like book subscription service that it's like a book subscription service and like a book club all rolled into one. The Wedding Date is about 2 people who meet in an elevator, and you know, they spark up like a fake dating type of situation, and the girl goes to the wedding with this man that she just met in the elevator, and you know, love ensues, things happen, and it's a great book. Okay, up next is the book that I am currently reading, and that is Muted by Tammy Charles, and this was also sent to me by Epic Reads. And You know, this was actually not on my radar until Epic Reads sent it to me, but I am really enjoying it. It was compared to, like, if you enjoy Angie Thomas and you enjoy Elizabeth Acevedo, then you will enjoy Muted. I think it has the Elizabeth Acevedo comparison because it's written in verse, similar to The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. And I think it's compared to Angie Thomas because the topic of the book covers like the downsides of like the music industry and like being famous and what that means and some of the sacrifices that you have to make apparently in the music industry. And if you've read On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, it also talks about like the music industry and like what it means to kind of like make it in that space. So I definitely have some thoughts about this book because I'm currently reading it, but again, I'll get into that in my quarterly wrap up. So next up is Roundbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. I actually haven't read the Red Queen series, but I know a lot of people have and they really enjoyed it. And if you're not familiar, Victoria Aveyard wrote the Red Queen series. And so Roundbreaker follows, I'll just kind of read like the back. It says, a squire, the survivor of a failed quest, an immortal, timeless and unfathomable, an assassin, skilled and heartless, and a pirate's daughter, the world's last hope. The age of heroes is gone, but the fight to save the world has only just begun. It says it's perfect for fans of J.R.R. Tolkien, Leigh Bardugo. It's a high voltage, high stakes adventure. It sounds like an unlikely group of characters that kind of come together. She's a thickum. She's pretty thick. But I haven't, like I said, I haven't read anything by Victoria Aveyard, but I'm excited to get into this. It sounds like it'd be something that I would enjoy. And this cover is just like real badass. Like I want to try holding a sword, but I know that I would hurt myself. So like, I'm not going to do that, but I kind of want to. The next book is The Kindest Lie by Nancy Johnson. So in The Kindest Lie, the main character kind of like goes off to live her life, and then when she comes back to her hometown, she is kind of realizing like the sacrifices that had to be made for her to even go and like live out and fulfill her dreams. And the book is set in 2008, so it also explores like what a normal American life was like in the wake of the 2008 like financial crisis. But also at that time, Barack Obama's president, so there are also still like some semblances of hope that things, when it comes to like racial injustices, will like be subdued a little bit because they have a black president, which in 2008, we all had some hope, right? And so the back of the book says, this is for fans of Tahari Jones and Jacqueline Woodson, an indelible, immersive debut about race, class, identity, and the pursuit of the American dream. I've heard many good things about this book from people who have already read it. I haven't gotten to it yet, but it's definitely on my list to read this year. We have gotten to the end. Only one more. So when this book was pitched to me, I just knew that it was for me. Okay, and it is The Jigsaw Man by Nadine Matheson. So The Jigsaw Man follows like a serial killer but his copycat. Okay, so it says a serial killer and his copycat are locked in a violent game of cat and mouse. Can Detective Angelica Henley stop them before it's too late? So, you know, this is giving me like Criminal Minds vibes, you know, some more little true crime vibes, and that is my freaking jam. And this is written by a black author, so, you know, giving me, I'm all about thrillers, I'm all about true crime, I'm all about, you know, just like crime mysteries in general, but it just makes it even better that it's written by a black author. And that is it for my birthday book haul. And if you've made it this far, you know the deal. You are my favorites, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.